And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day, every weekday. I take one day off, usually one of these days of Saturday or Sunday, but I am here. I am here and I see there's someone already in the space. Hannah is the first person in the building. Good morning, Hannah. She is the first person in the building, and Omar is number two. What's going on, guys? So much to talk about on this Water Cooler Wednesday. For those that are new to our community, we talk water cooler talk, and there's a lot of headlines that we're just going to chime in because guess what? We are the grassroots. We are the grassroots. And so here we are. Sorry for the New York City noise in the behind me, but as you know, I'm live and I'm in New York. New York would not be New York without sirens. So here we are. Okay. Hey, Brian's in the building. Brian is in the building. Now, what I would like to do, this may be difficult to do, but I think what I want to do today is I want to see an open forum, and I'm going to put the link to come on live if you want to be a part of the panel as we do what's called Water Cooler Talk. And that anyone that wants to show up, obviously, if you're a part of this community. Now, if you just happen to out of nowhere pop up, you will be suspected. So I would like, okay, maybe next time. I see you here that you're consistently. You've been here more than 5 or 6 times. Then that kind of like gives me a little indication that you are part of this community. But what I'm going to do is do something different because I'm inspired by all the things that have happened this week with the women coming out live and sharing, and all the men coming out live and sharing, and I'm just going to do it. I am going to see who wants to pop up. So we're going to do that in a little bit. I just wanted to greet everyone first. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to have everyone. This is Water Cooler Wednesday. And so why not act like we're at the water cooler? We're all in the break room, relaxing, sitting back, and talking about the headlines of the day. I think this will be fun. I think it's going to be new. I think it'll be a great way also for some of you who want to come on. You have a fear of coming on live, right? You have a fear of coming on live. And this may be an opportunity for you to get your feet wet. So we'll do that. We'll do that in the last, let's say we'll do it in the last 30 minutes of the show. We'll have a total full on, well, probably about 15 minutes, a full on conversation about the headlines. And there is a lot of them to talk about. Okay, let's say hello. Okay, I see in here in the building, Kimmy Kim has walked in the building. Elise is in the building. Good morning. Omar saying hello to Hannah. I see all the hellos and the hellos and the hellos. Anthony Reed is in. Anthony Reed. Anthony Rowland is in the building. What's going on, Anthony Rowland? How you doing? Chris Baylor is in the building, and Bryson is in the building as always. Bryson says, "What's up, Ron? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Welcome to the middle of the week. It is Hump Wednesday." Oh, yes, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. So usually I have my hat on, but I was like, I mean, if you see sweat, it's because I don't have my hat on. And you probably say, that's the reason why I wear my hat, because I sweat, which means I'm in good health. They say when you sweat, that means you're in good health as a part of being in good health. Okay. Omar says, it's the Deadpool Wolverine weekend. Who's going? Who's going to see Deadpool and Wolverine? Did you know I just learned about something that yesterday? That there's what's called 4D theaters. And in the 4D theaters, the chairs move and they vibrate and they move back and forth. And they said with every punch from Deadpool Wolverine, you're going to feel it while you're sitting in the chair. Has anyone heard of this 4D theater? I see Anthony says he's going. Anthony says he's going. Anthony says he's going. Okay, Deadpool and Wolverine weekend. Who's going? Omar, you've heard of it, obviously. Omar is like myself. We are both nerds. And matter of fact, for those that don't know, if you go on Facebook and go to the account that says The Nerd, that is Omar. Omar has his own nerd account for everything nerdy. So check out Omar's nerdy account. Yeah, so check it out. Anthony says there are 4D theaters here. Yes, sir. We have. I heard in New York City I know we have 2 because that was they shared this on yesterday on I think it was Good Morning America 3. I think it was, or it may have been the evening news. I can't remember because I look at so much news. But I learned about it yesterday. I did not know about 4D theaters. Derek Toggle is in the building. What's going on, D? Mr. D Tuggle. Mr. D Tuggle is in the building. And Bryson says he's a Marvel head. How many Marvel heads are in the building? Oh, yes. So Brian says he's tried one years ago. Yeah, I heard they're much better now. I heard they are incredible. So the news anchor man was talking about the Deadpool movie and also Twister. How many people are going to see the new Twister movie? How many Twister folks are out there? Hey, Fifi. Fifi's in the building with her purple hearts. Love you, my Fifi. Love you. Disney has had 4D theaters. Okay, nice. I knew nothing about 4D theaters until yesterday. That is, I guess I'm not as a nerd as I thought. I'm a political nerd. Definitely not movies. Anthony says, my first experience was watching Avatar when they're flying, the chair moves and the wind blows. Crazy experience. Really? Holy moly. I think I need to go. I need to check this theater out. Wow. Chris Bell says, can't get into the Deadpool spectrum. Those seats just beat you up, and with a flick like Top Gun Maverick, yeah, that would be coolness. Okay, there we go. Aya's in the building. So what we're talking about is how many people are going to Deadpool. How many people are going to see Deadpool Wolverine this weekend? Who are going? Who's going? Who are the Marvel heads in this community? Okay. Elise says, I love Wolverine and Twister. I think I'm going to go see both of them, but I heard the tickets are a little more expensive at a 4D theater with a good right. I mean, a whole lot more is going into it. It's more than a movie. It's an experience. Brian says, I'm such a movie nerd. My siblings and Grand Rising Grand Rising, everyone from Aya. Yeah, so okay, a lot of you guys are Marvel heads. A lot of you guys are Marvel heads, and a lot of you are familiar with the 4D theater. Okay, that was the first head. Thank you, Omar. See, that's how we do. We have conversation based on what we're talking about, right? I just facilitate. Omar came up with the thought. We start talking. However, there is one thing I do want to talk about, and let me just see if I can get that up on the screen. Hold on a second. And that is, let me just get that up here. MSNBC, MSNBC. I'll get that up, and that should come up shortly. So I have a question. How many of you saw the Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, rally in Wisconsin yesterday. How many of you have seen that? How many saw it? How many saw the clips? How many saw the repeats? How many saw it in some media? And what did you think? What did you think? I am curious if you saw it in wonderful Wisconsin. Wisconsin folks. How many people? I've never been to Wisconsin. It is one of the 10 states I have not been to. Oh, sorry, my bad. Nope. I take it back. I've been to Wisconsin. Yes, I went to Wisconsin in, I think it was 2010. Woo, a long time ago. Yes, yes, I did go to Wisconsin. I've been to Wisconsin. Okay, I thought I did not. I thought it wasn't. I have. Brian says he watched it live as it happened. Brian, what did you think of it? What did you think of Kamala? What did you think of Kamala? As a matter of fact, I'm going to send Brian and Elise, because I want to come on. You know, they always got an open invitation on here. I'm going to send Omar. I'm going to send a couple of you guys your invitation, your invite, so we can have a conversation and we can all be a part of the conversation together. Okay, let's see there. Let me put in here, because, you know, we are a community. It's more than Ron speaking. It is a community. And guys, we can get in as many as we want. We can get in here as many as we want. Let me see. I know she's not here, but I'm going to send one out to her, Miss G. And let's see who else is in the building. I got, there we go. And we got Mr. B in the building. There we go, Mr. B. Okay, so we're gonna have like a round table. We're gonna be fast. We're gonna be like really sharing our thoughts, because we got a lot of topics to cover as a community. Okay, I sent that out to you guys. And what I'm also going to do is copy this, and I'm going to put this in my little notes here, and then I'm going to put that out for you guys in a little bit. Okay, so here we are. She did a great, I think Kamala is coming into herself. I should say she shined yesterday. She shined yesterday. It was so good to see her shine. And again, there's a whole new day. And we also know that with every new day comes a warning. There's a warning label at the bottom, right, of every new day. You may have the best day in the morning, and the whole day could change by evening. So, however, I'm so excited that she has all of the delegates. All of the delegates have now been pledged to her, which is great. So that means it's going to be an easy movement for Kamala at the convention. Everyone's on board. That means now they can save time. They can dive right in. They're saying that next week it's possible that they might have a VP by next week. That will be cool. So we're going to talk about VP, and then, but I just want to know, did any of you see the Wisconsin? Also, what was so beautiful about Wisconsin yesterday is that, hey, Omar's in the building. Omar's in the back seat. Omar, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to come on. And so they had it in an arena. All right, they had it in a place that she was scheduled to be in, and then it was so many people. They had to get a bigger facility because so many people were coming to the event, and then that place could not contain all the people that wanted to support Kamala yesterday in Wisconsin. Guys, Democrats are vigorated. Independents are vigorated. Some Republicans are vigorated. So here we go. Everyone's in the back room. Everyone's behind the stage. They're all getting ready. Brian's getting ready. Elise is getting ready. As soon as they give me the thumbs up, I'm bringing them on. Yes, so we can have this water cooler conversation as we do. And then we're going to invite other folks in later. How about that? Okay, so if you're interested in coming on, let me know. And but I'm going to put something I do not do. I'm going to put the code on the actual screen. Ooh, Ron is going there. Yeah, you know why? Because I can. And guess what? No one can enter the room unless I let them. So if you don't make it in, but we have enough room. StreamYard has the ability to have at least 30 people in this room. Well, we also know that StreamYard can have up to 20,000 people at one time. Let me bring the folks on. Is Omar, you online driving?
I won't talk until I'm a few minutes away from my destination.
Okay, so you get to your destination, and I'll bring you back on. I want you to focus. Okay, here's Mr. B. Mr. B's in the building, and our beautiful Elise is in the building. And let me get my little banner off my head so that way you can see me still. There we go. There we go. So what did you think of the Wisconsin? And it was short and sweet. It wasn't long. It wasn't drawn out. She kept the 10. I mean, I watched it live with Brian. What's his name? Brian. What's Brian's last name? On live on YouTube. He's such a great commentator on politics and everything. But Brian did such a great job in covering it. And as she was going through her speech, he was saying, she made this point, she made that point. She covered every single point she needed to cover yesterday. And so I'm excited. What do you say, Elise? Go ahead, Elise. Ladies first.
Well, I think she did a great job. I think she did a great job of staying focused and on point for what needed to be said, not trying to dealing with the facts.
Yes.
Which is a part of being an attorney, right? She was focused on the facts, and her call for what we all say, this is about freedom.
Yes.
She said we got to focus on that part. And I think those were some of the really great things out there. And her being able to actually, one of the things that mentioned the things that they've actually done in the last over 3 years. And I think that's the part that isn't covered a lot. And her energy that she brought to the stage. Just her showing how confident she is and seeing some of the rhetoric out there and capable, how confident and capable she is. I think that she did an excellent job of showing that.
Oh yeah. I think I agree with you 100%, Elise. It was so refreshing. I mean, it was just, I love people that can speak, obviously. I like to talk a lot. So I like to listen a lot as well, but I like to hear people speak. I love good, what's the word? I love good logic. Yeah. I like when people can, it's another reason why I love lawyers so much. I hate and love relationship with lawyers, but I love them for what they can do as in speaking. Lawyers have the ability, good ones, the very good lawyers. Yeah. They know how to take your thought process, break it down, and then make you follow a line in a conversation to get you to their destination. And Kamala is one of the best lawyers in the country. She was the prosecutor of the biggest state in the country. Right. And she's done a lot on so many levels in California. We'll go into the DEI comments of racism so we'll jump into that later. But anyway, Brian, what did you think of yesterday?
Getting better and better. Yesterday was great. I watched on Monday her formal first with the staff, the campaign staff, and yesterday she all she has to do is just keep doing that format, changing it up a bit, because if anybody watched on Monday, she pretty much, the first part was pretty much verbatim what she shared with the team on Monday. The thing that I love, and I'm guilty of not following this in spite of my speech coaches and bosses, but something that stuck in my head a long time ago, a boss said his 3 key things when he was giving big presentations: be bright, be brief, be gone. And that's how she was like, boom, boom, boom. And now we have a very strong comparison to, Orange Thanos over here, who rambles on and on and on. So yeah, it was good. Ignoring all. Let's not get sidetracked. Here's an absolute that I'm pretty sure we all are like pretty like 99.9% sure was going to happen if and when this switch change, and it is happening, is that the attacks are going to come. He's not American, DEI, things that you're going to get to later. Okay. And so she's not sidetracked by that. Hit them with the facts, show them who she is by prosecuting the case for either a convicted felon or a more than triply qualified candidate. In my opinion, and I'll stop. In my opinion, she is more than qualified. It just so happens also the bonus, she's a woman. So that should not, in my opinion, be a reason not to vote for her, which grinds my gears with Hillary. Hillary was more than qualified. The propaganda machine got going. The oh my God, she's a woman. Like, okay, look, if you looked at her resume and looked at an identical resume of a man and didn't know who was who, you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to vote for her. And then you pull up oh my God, this is Kamala. Well, I don't know. And that's what frustrates me outside of that. But yeah, she was good.
Okay.
Be bright,
cool.
Be brief, be gone.
I like that. I love that. That's a good, say those 3 steps again, sir.
Oh, I use that to be bright,
be bright,
brief, and then be gone. Be bright, be brief, and be gone.
I love it. I'm write
it down.
That's you know how I feel about quotes and stuff. That is a good one. Okay, Gwendolyn's in the backstage.
Oh, good.
Gwendolyn is in the backstage. There she is.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm doing pretty good. I was getting ready to do some content creation. I got to record some stuff. And then, of course, I get Ron's message. I got to put Wednesday on my calendar, clearly.
You know you do. At least when we're having our water cooler Wednesdays. Yes, indeed. Gwendolyn, did you get a chance to see the Wisconsin speech or clips from it?
I saw clips of it. And I have to say, to be able to see someone, as you mentioned earlier, speak extremely well and just get right down to it, for me, I'm all in. I don't watch a lot of Trump speeches because my ears don't have that kind of patience. I can't, and it's some really weird stuff anyway, whenever he is talking. And so to have someone speak, and I'm thinking also too, I am caught up in the energy. Like, people are really excited, like really, really excited. So for me, I've been kind of off of social media these last couple of days, just sort of taking it all in and wrapping my arms around it. I know I told you, Ron, I'm still very pissed about how they treated Joe Biden, because the man did his job, right? He has done an excellent job. And the fact that, we talk about ageism does not exist in America, but yet and still, you guys took a very high office, a very big job, and pushed that man out. So for the rest of us who are like, should I get back into the workforce? I don't know if there's a chance, right? So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
tell me about it.
Ageism clearly
is a real thing. Can we say
now we're in the age of sexism, racism,
all the isms.
Misogyny is coming to the table. everybody's like, hold my beer, So it should be interesting, but it should also be telling, because I have some people in my family who are Trump supporters. I know these are Black folk, and I'm like, what? But they're not. Okay, so they're my husband's family. I'm gonna go ahead and call it like that. They're not my people.
Over there.
But I thought to myself, if you're looking at this from the outside and you are seeing how they're attacking her, they're not going after her policies. They're not going after her record. They are using things like she slept her way to the top. She's somebody's side piece. All this ridiculous stuff. She's a DEI hire. And I thought, that's the horse you're backing. Like, that's what you stand for. I mean, like, you just have to ask yourself, like, who are you at the end of the day? When you decide to back whomever, I believe you should look at the person's values and your own, because no one's going to be 100%, right? Like, we're never going to get 100%. Right. But if you got to tell me that the people that you want to represent this country and represent you attack people based on race and gender and sex, then I got to ask myself, who are you?
Who are you? Well, I always say when it comes to the people that support Trump, is an indicator of who they are. I mean, you cannot go against your inner being principles. I mean, we all have what's called our foundational principles that we live by, and you can't go against it. Well, some people do, and that's why they're in the psych ward. And you have to be in agreement with who you are. Anyway, Chris Bayless says, he goes, the one criticism I have about her being in this new role is that everyone is placing impossible pressure on former President Obama, non-personal public endorsement, especially from our community. And then he goes on and says, he can't either way, but he did. He said he endorsed the nominee. And he goes on and says that puts him in an incredible catch-22. Why no one says that I cannot fathom. I know I'm not the only one that sees and knows this. And he says it hurts because he did endorse the only nominee possible. So now that's a thought. I mean, I agree with you. Well, in some ways. However, though, we know that there was only one nomination that could be outside of Biden. It had to be Harris. And so I still feel that Obama should have been quick on it and say, okay, I'm endorsing. One is the failure of endorsing his own vice president. And it caused somewhat of a rift between the Obama administration and the Biden people. So when Biden came in, a lot of them felt a little sidetracked because Obama did not support in the first time that he ran with Hillary. Obama supported Hillary instead of Joe. And a lot of people were not happy about that he did not support his own vice president. So yeah, Obama, I love Obama. I love him for what he's done for the country. I love him as a president. I love him as a person. But he's made some screwed up choices as well. And there's no perfect person. I mean, He's allowed to do that.
Yeah, he's allowed to make a choice. He's allowed to make.
And he doesn't have to make a choice. It's his decision to make.
And so there are a couple of thoughts on that, right? So someone, I can't remember if it was my husband or someone else mentioned yesterday, it's like maybe he's a little gun shy because the last time he endorsed someone, they didn't win. So,
that's true too.
That was one of the things that came to mind. And then the idea of whether or not he can or won't, or he catch-22, is that this is the person that's up there.
Yeah.
You're either gonna come out and back that or not. And of course, the commercial still runs, donate the $5, and that has him in it. So either you come out or not. And this, of course, there's the thought that he'll wait until the actual convention. But we also have to understand that the reason why they really escalated things to make sure she had the delegates. Now, as one of the gentlemen on, because I did listen to the men's conversation that was on there, actually emphasized the fact that by early next week, they need to solidify that ballot, because they know that people are going to try to block them from putting them on ballots, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, you hear it now, which is fun, which is hilarious to me. We
From
all know that the ballot isn't complete until you know everyone that's going to be on there. And with the RNC, there was no ballot last week because the vice presidential candidate running mate wasn't announced until the RNC, right? So there's no ballot out there already printed. There's
Yes.
nothing already printed because it can't be printed until things are finalized. So that's why they're
Exactly.
trying to get that done by next week. Because there's still that looming threat by Ohio because the convention is 19th through the 22nd that they wouldn't put the Biden ticket. They were trying to fight putting the Biden ticket on their ballot because of that, because it's past, quote unquote, past their deadline, even though they've made exceptions for the Republicans twice. So there's a lot in that.
Yes.
And so, I mean, every individual can do what they want. Do I feel badly about anything as far as pressuring, looking at Obama? And no, I don't feel bad about the fact that people are wondering where he is. But we all have our right to sit and wait as long as we want to. The most important thing is that she has the support of the party behind her.
She
has
has the
support of the sitting representatives behind her. And I think one of the important things that she talked about yesterday that she mentioned briefly was voting up and down the ticket and needing to make sure that Wisconsin senator is reelected.
That's right.
She has to continue to include those points in there, that she needs to somehow work in there. For me, in order for me to accomplish all that we want to happen, I need a House and a Senate that supports me. And I think somewhere in there during that time to emphasize that.
I see David says maybe Obama sees things that the average Joe doesn't see. I like that play on the Joe.
Well, does it? I mean,
hold on a second. I see we got Omar in the room. Omar, are you waiting? Or you just you're on the sideline? You got anything to say?
Well, I'm obviously listening to everyone's comments and reviews and so on, and it's again, this is unprecedented because this is something we've never experienced before. Like, in our modern history and so on. So there's a lot of moving parts, and where the old guard was threatening, the new guard pretty much, and you got everything has to happen so fast where a lot of people want to slow things down, where they want to do all the checks and balances, but there's no time for the checks and balances.
Exactly, no time.
They waited too long, and then Joe didn't want to quit. Let's just start there. He did not want to quit. He wanted to finish, in his mind, the job. And like Gwendolyn said, it's unfortunate, that he's not going to get. He should be getting the credit due. But they bum rushed the guy. They literally bombarded him constantly with trying to step out of the race, and that's really discouraging. That's unfair to him. It's unfair to his legacy, and I think it's great that I think we have the right leader for the Democratic Party. I think Kamala is going to be a great president, but I think how everything is kind of shifting over. We still got to get through that minutia. We still got to make the DNC they got to tighten up shit. They really do.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of us that are on the sidelines, and we're looking at everyone's actions and like, this is a mess. I mean, at least one thing about the Republican Party, they're crazy. Yes, they're crazy, but they're galvanized, and visuals are very important unfortunately in this, with the TikTok generation and so on. But I am encouraged. They did a quick survey of the young voters, and they are more encouraged that that Biden stepped down, and they're more willing to vote for the Democratic ticket with with Kamala there. So there is an upswing. There is an upswing with it.
I see here also, Chris says, it is an odd thing being the first. The lines one has to walk and examples to set above approach. See Jesse Owens, Jack and Jackie Robinson. Yeah, this is interesting. We're gonna move to the next subject. There is let's see here. Let's see which one should we pick. Tonight, Biden will be speaking since Omar kind of like just let us into it. Biden will be speaking tonight. What do you think is going to be said? How do you guys feel? I mean, I love that we can do this because we are the grassroots and we're just chatting and talking at the water cooler. What do you think is going to be shared tonight? What will we learn today or tonight that we did not know? I know that's an interesting question because we don't know it, but what do you think we're going to learn tonight?
If I could go, I'm a little plug. Myself and my colleagues, we're going to be our Wednesday night political spin at 9 p.m. on Clubhouse, and we're going to be, depending on when it comes on, the president does his address. We may do a listening watch together tonight and talk about it. But for me,
before you go there, while you get a chance to, after we finish, make sure you put it in our private chat. You can put that in the private chat, and then I can put your Clubhouse link onto the page.
Okay. So to your question, what I expect, one, he'll address like, hey, I'm all better. I assume that's a given that, hey, his health. But those, it's rare presidents address the nation from the Oval Office. Anybody who looks over the history of presidents addressing from the Oval Office, they're really rare. They use, that's something that's in their quiver that they use methodically. So one, I expect him to, for any of those that have been living under a rock, address, hey, listen, I am stepping aside. I'm supporting our Vice President Kamala Harris, forgive me, our future president. I'm curious, and this is what I'm hoping for, that he will address, going over just some of the accomplishments, like what we've talked about. And I've been critical, even when I've called my local representatives, like, dude, you guys are not bragging enough about what has been accomplished under this administration. Hopefully you can do that. I'm curious if he will expand upon what he started here in Detroit that kind of got like overshadowed. The campaign stop here, the campaign rally, he laid out some of the key pillars of his next administration. So, which is getting the Supreme Court in check with term limits, what is it? Crap, I'm drawing a blank. All the illegalities that we're seeing with the Clarence Uncle Tom Thomas taking a bribe, or I shouldn't say bribes, but come on now, laying out a framework of, hey, look, we want to get the Supreme Court in check. We want to expand the Affordable Care Act even more. All the accomplishments that he has done, tying him into what he wants to do for his next administration if he was so reelected. Now he can pass that baton to Kamala, because I feel like all those things in his plan for the next administration, for his next term, I should say, were getting overshadowed. Kamala, with this energy, she could say the same thing now, and people are going to listen. Think about that. How many times any of us have mentioned something to our children or a loved one, and it just kind of gets, oh boy. And then they come back and tell you, yo, John told me I should do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, well, that's exactly what I said. So I'm hoping that's what the president could share tonight. As far as, I got other ideas, but I'll pass it off.
Gwendolyn, what do you think is going to happen tonight?
I think he will review his time in the office. I think he'll share his accomplishments. I also believe, he will talk about his health and his future. It would be interesting if, since the Republicans are asking him to resign, if he did that as well. Like, that would just be a shocker. But, they're asking for him to step away, and he was like, I'm going to drop this mic real quick. That would make headlines. I would love to see it. I don't think he'd do it, but I would love to see it.
I wouldn't. I don't think. I hope he doesn't do it. And there are lots of reasons to think about politically as to what it means to Kamala as far as her vice presidential candidate. Jazzy and I have been talking about that, and it has to go to the House of Representatives. So if he's a smart enough politician, he will do what he said he's going to do. He said he's going to stay.
He's going to stay to the end.
His term, and he's going to go on the campaign trail. That's exactly what he needs to do. And in addition to saying what their accomplishments are as a team, he needs to say specifically what she has done as vice president as a part of the team, because that's a lot of what you hear floating around. Oh,
she hasn't done nothing.
Where she's gotten 47 states and the District of Columbia to expand the amount of time women have after having a child from 6 weeks to 12 months. Yeah. So to take care of their health, especially for postpartum depression. If you've ever had a baby, that's real, and it can last for more than a year. But at least getting people, those states, and that includes red states, to buy into that idea. So I think that for it to be really effective, yes, talk about the accomplishments that he's made over the last. Like I said, there are more accomplishments than people have made in 2 terms, and she mentioned that in her speech yesterday.
Yes.
And specifically what she actually was charged with, because right now I was looking at a clip from, I think it was MSNBC, talking to a group of white women supporters for 45. And they were, she was in charge of the board. No, somebody told you that. She actually, it was not her job.
That was not her job.
Yeah.
National
She was orchestrating the leadership of those getting ready to work in that. She was not, that was not her job.
That was not her job. So they basically are repeating what's been said. She's not bright. Here you are speaking incorrect, using incorrect grammar, saying that she's not bright. And you said you were a teacher.
Yes.
The woman that said it was a teacher. So, those types of things are, and to even have something like MSNBC have that conversation and the person just asking questions and never saying, but did you know?
Yes.
That's the part the media is still going to have to be pushed.
Because the media does not ask the follow-up question. They let those things stay in the air, and they do not ask the.
That's not.
I hope he talks about the accomplishments, and he talks about what she's done. Those are the 3 things I hope that comes out tonight.
Omar,
I agree. I think Joe's going to stick it to them a little bit. I think he's going to be a little bit
feisty,
pissed. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a little bit pissed, because he, in his mind, he's probably just gonna tell people. I know he doesn't want to say the truth per se, like y'all want me to leave. That's the truth.
Yeah,
because that's what's been done behind the scenes. So. So I think he might sound a little pissed, sharing his accomplishments and sharing what he's done in his, 50 plus years in politics and so on. But he's also definitely going to elevate Kamala Harris. His job is to elevate her. After all of his accomplishments, he said, this is where we are as a nation, and this is who we need to lead the nation moving forward. And I'm proud of the fact that I picked her as my vice president, and I'm going to endorse her as the president of the United States. So hopefully his energy is up. They give him the steroid shot or whatever he needs, to get, because it's probably his last big speech in front of the nation, unless
I think he's going to have a big place at the convention.
Yeah,
I think they're going to do a whole big thing for him.
So that's few weeks away, but it's all on him now. The eyes are on
everything's
him.
gonna be him for the Oval Office.
And so I just pray for his strength. I pray for his clarity. I pray, that because the Republicans' rebuttal is always going to be lies and non-factual and all that. I think it's our job as the grassroots, as you say, Ron, is we're the fact checkers. I've been doing that. I've been fact checking people all week on my Facebook posts, and so they're driving me insane how dumb people are. Just
right.
Did you just say that?
Oh my God! And it's exhausting.
It's
and
exhausting.
I can only imagine if you're in politics and if you're in leadership like that, how you have to deal with these knuckleheads because they're trying. It's like Ron, you were saying that you said it the other day. Lifeguards have to knock you out to save your life.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like I got to knock some of these people out because, you guys are going to kill yourselves. You're going into the inferno. The information is there. There is facts, but you're going to disregard it all.
Right.
Yes.
Because you just can't have, I just can't get past whatever. Or I can't vote for a black person. I can't vote for a woman. I can't. But yet you're destroying your future and your children's future. I am voting for my kids and my grandkids.
Yes.
Right.
Period. I'm thankful for the life that God has given me, and I plan to be here, obviously a little longer. But the decisions that are going to be made in the next election, the next president is going to, like you said, like we all know, is going to impact the next 30 to 40, 50 years.
Yes. I mean, this is on the line, and I just learned something yesterday that I did not. I'm not up to that point. I'm not up to that chapter yet in Project 2025. And that is what was it, Gwendolyn?
Schedule F.
Schedule F.
Yeah.
Well, look, just when I thought.
But we talked about the database, though. We talked about if you go to that homepage of Project 2025, there is a place to apply.
Yes.
You can get in your training and be ready to be boots on the ground when they take over it. And this been up for a while. I could only imagine how many people they have in that database.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of people in that army. Okay, here's another question. Okay, for first of all, I'm looking at all the comments here. Jazzy says, if he doesn't stay, that makes things extremely hard for her. Kimmy says he may say there are some health challenges that come with age and speak about his initiative to get more health benefits for seniors. We would like to be able to spend more time with family. We have to repeat their accomplishments and her accomplishments and be loud about it. Charlene says, during the correction, MSNBC did not provide any context for correction or facts. Yeah, that was doing that interviews. He's going to give them Scranton Joe. Anthony. And also, Charlene says, during the conversation, MSNBC did not provide. Okay, got that one. Sorry about that. Anthony says, fact checking these people is a full-time job.
Oh my God.
Mandatory overtime.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Just remind that, hey, Project 2025, they want to do away with overtime. So I'm just saying.
Hello.
Yeah.
Slavery. I'm telling you, they want to take everyone back to slavery. Okay, here's another question for you
Kamala
guys.
did mention that yesterday as well in her speech. She talked about
that. That's what they want to do.
Going back to what you were saying about Schedule F. So the plan is to get rid of at least 50,000 federal government employees.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to really emphasize at least.
Hello, and what they said is that if they win and do
Schedule
what's it called? F something F. What's it called?
Schedule F.
Schedule. There we go. I gotta make sure I remember that schedule. Schedule F. Schedule F. Schedule F. Say it 3 times and I remember. Okay, there we go. Schedule F. So Schedule F That means going to every department and firing them all and bringing people in that are in allegiance to Trump. And therefore, in order for them to keep that job, they have to continue to vote for Trump. And this is how it's done in autocratic countries, is that all the power heads and their employees that run the government are in allegiance, because that's how they stay. They have to have work. Everybody wants to work. And when everybody else is not working and you have your job because you are in swore allegiance to the leader, that's what keeps the leader in place. That's why when these people have when they have elections, and then they keep winning their elections, because they've created this format. Anyway,
can I add to that? What, like, again, making it plain. If people are like, "Oh my God, that's a lot," and that doesn't affect me, making it plain. What is a federal job? Does anybody in here? My dad's included in this. My dad's a military vet, but he's a retired postal worker. Is anybody a postal worker? Is there a postal worker in somebody's family? Somebody delivering mail? Are you? And some may say, well, these are state jobs, or these are local municipality jobs. It's still, trust me, there's a link there. There's a link there. When you're going to get your driver's license, for example, any job that is considered federal, I want people to really think about that. I'm not just talking at the high level. If there's like an admin at like at the Department of Health and Human Services, federal jobs can be, like I mentioned before, like a mailman, a postal carrier, could be a city, repairing the streets or whatnot, collecting trash. If that's under government, under city, state. If it's federal, it's federal. And making it plain to people. Like, that's why that is kind of scary. And here's another connection of the dots. Current Supreme Court's already made it illegal to be homeless. Boom. So now, down the line, if Orange is in office and they implement Project 2025, overnight you have 50,000 plus unemployed. How long will it take for them, all those people that are now unemployed simply because they will not bow down to, oh boy, how long will it take for them to get a job? What percentage of that number could be homeless? Oh, wait, let's go back here where they made being homeless illegal. So, and now after that, and then I'm going to toss something else onto it. And I've mentioned this before. I mentioned it in the chat last night on Kenny Burns, where Elise was on, and I shared this conversation I had with the gentleman at the Biden rally here. They want to make birthright citizenship. They want to take birthright citizenship away. So just put those together. If it's illegal to be homeless, if you are a federal employee, maybe an admin, nothing like major, not that you're breaking down doors with a gun, maybe you just doing some paperwork. You lose your job, bam. Oh, wait, now I'm homeless. Oh, wait, now they just took away my birthright citizenship. Now I'm in one of these the immigration detention camps. They're going to deport me back to my home country, but this is my home country. But I'm Black, so they're just going to deport me back to a Black country. I know I said a lot there, and it may seem scary, but this, again, all of us on here have either fully read Project 2025 or in the process of it. And if you think it's scary, it's not scary if you know that it's factual. Right. These are facts. This is not. So I just want to make it plain.
Here's a statement. So before we go, let's see what the audience says. Jazzy says, most people don't really understand how federal jobs work. EPA, DEA, National Parks, DOD, DOJ, FDA, and more. Those are all the different departments that are under the government and have employees that work for that. So, yeah, that's a good point, Jazzy.
Yeah. And if you read or looked at Project 2025, you know, those are some of the departments they're coming for.
They're doing away with.
Department of Justice, Department of Education, EPA, They've already, with the ruling that the Supreme Court made, that already impacts EPA as well. So as we look at it, those are the types of things that have been protecting us as citizens in all states from some of the things that they want to do. So I think that's the part that we have to focus in on. Helping people understand that it all comes down to, those are the things that are keeping those are the people, and they're talking about the ones that are like the scientists and all those things that are up there, the people who have the knowledge, who will be replaced. Doesn't mean that they're being replaced with people of the same amount of knowledge. What they're going to be replaced with are loyalists, people who have pledged their loyalty to that person, not their loyalty to making sure that our country and the people in it are safe. And I think that's the most important thing, if you want to emphasize to people what that means, and just keep hammering at what that means, and not let them get away with saying, oh, it's not a part of what we're doing. But that's what they're planning. And of course, they said it at the convention, they've said it everywhere, that's their intention. And I think to emphasize that is what has to happen. And we talk about Health and Human Services. The fact that they want to get rid of Affordable Health Care Act. And I challenge anyone, please never call it by the
Obamacare.
Do not, because that's not what it is. It's Affordable Health Care Act. Exactly. It's what's giving you that health care and giving your
Affordable Care Act.
Child who is in college, the coverage under you until they're 26 years old. So we need to make sure that people understand that. But those are the things that they're coming for. And that's what people have to be real clear so they understand. Our trick is to get people to understand, like you look at Gwendolyn's, you look at your relatives, to understand how this impacts them as a person. They have to have personal connection. They have to understand what it is and how it's going to impact them, no matter what they think. You may be jumping for joy now, but then you'll be crying later.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, and this is when you're saying, can't you tell this is a dummying down of our society?
Yeah.
Think about it.
I can go there real quick.
You want to do that? You want to take?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll do a little piece and I'll give it right back to you, because I'm thinking about the comment about the federal jobs and national parks. And I think we've all gone through a couple of shutdowns.
Yes.
Right. And people get upset when it shuts down. It's like, oh, I can't go to the park, because they just don't realize how much they really rely on the government on a daily basis. Right. We take it for granted because we just don't see it. Right, like your highways that you have, right, like the clean water, and even the mail, even though it's all junk, even the mail, right. It's like you rely on that, and you don't understand how much you actually want it and need it until it's not there for you anymore. And people love the national parks. I mean, I was in DC and I had all the museums and everything, and the very next day that shutdown went down, people were like, I can't go in. What do you mean I can't go in? Like, I'm here. Right. Like, yeah, you don't realize how much you want the government until you need the government, right. And what the government provides on a daily basis, on a local city basis, right? So that's when things get kind of funny. But when you talk about dumbing down things, like I'm in the educational part of Project 2025 again. Because even though I don't have kids, like my own natural kids, I have kids. And so I do look at the idea of going away from public education and getting rid of the Department of Education. Like all of that impacts my grandbabies and my great niece and my great nephew. That's concerning for me. But when you talk about dumbing down things, people are quick to say, I don't need the government. I don't need the government. I don't need the government. And I'm coming out of Houston, right? So I was down there in Houston this past weekend, and we are looking at, and pardon me, Ron, whole ass trees covering streets and whatnot. Who's going to chop that down? Who's going to cut that sucker up? Yeah. So that people can get in and put the lights back on. Like that goes back to, again, when we talk about, I don't want a lot of government. I don't need this. I don't need that. You need it. You want FEMA to be there for you when stuff like this happens.
Oh yeah.
And Texas, like,
it's truly everything that's connected to educating and making a more informed electorate. It's like the getting rid of books, getting rid of banning all kinds
books, going after librarians, making it a third degree felony.
Yes.
for letting somebody check out the bluest eye. Now
the blue eye.
There's real crimes out there, and that ain't it. That is not it.
These people want it's like going to some strange old movie. What was it?
Orwellian.
Yeah, Orwellian mindset where they take all these people, dummy them down. They want to de-educate them. Is that a word? I mean, I'm just creating that one. De-educate. De-educate.
I mean, like, okay, so if I may, and I know we're going to talk about tomorrow in terms of education, but like, when you read what they're proposing, again, when you look at it from just black and white, letters and things on paper, they're like, hey, I don't see why a job should require a bachelor's degree when it's not necessary. I agree with that. I agree, because y'all asking for 5 years for an entry-level job. Okay, well, 5 years is not entry level, but there is some things. So I agree that I don't need a bachelor a degree for a job that doesn't require it. However, when you say things like, we really shouldn't be doing these grants and stuff for higher education, it's not really necessary. Let's get back to apprenticeships and doing things with our hands and good family jobs. Let's do that. Now, that if it's their kids, them kids still going to college. And we know that education can put you in certain rooms and spaces and impact your salary. We're not going to act simple. Now, you can still get a great job and have a great life doing any other job. I'm not saying that, because I'm about trade school. Like, if you're not made for college, please don't go. It's not worth the money. But I also know that I'm not going to tell people that you shouldn't put any time into that. And take away their chance of getting it because, okay, I'm sorry. I watched Starship Troopers last night, okay? And the guy was asking why he was in mobile infantry, because he got into Harvard, but he couldn't afford it. So I'm just saying, like, that's where we're going, people. That's where we're going.
So
that's
anyway,
hilarious.
But again, it's the whole, when you think about what's happening. I mean, when they also did with the decision, the Chevron decision. Having the Chevron decision saying, okay, you know what? We don't need experts in Congress to make these laws and decisions. We don't. And at the ultimate of the decision making, it has to be with the Supreme Court. So SCOTUS said, you know what? Congress, you're going to have all your educated people on their panels to discuss how to create these different acts, and because Congress is responsible for creating laws, right? So, and they need expertise to make those decisions. And now because of the Chevron decision, now they don't need it. So again, we've already see Project 2025 working already. It is in action. For those that think it just because the title says Project 2025 doesn't mean it gets started in 2025. It's been in start since the Orange Man was in office before. And we are still, because of having the justices unbalanced. I mean, there was a coup in the Supreme Court. I mean, when you tell Obama you can't select your Supreme Court justice, that was an outright coup of a kind. Like, we're just going to house you. We're just going to say no, you can't do it. And then you have Trump comes along and then now puts in three.
Which technically should have been two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's grossly unbalanced. And so that's another thing. Your vote for blue is also for the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court, whoever gets into office, has the possibility of definitely choosing 2 and maybe 3. So if you think this Supreme Court is crazy, if you think that the new Supreme Court justices that are coming on under the new, if they were the Trumpsters, they already sworn that it's part of Project 2025, that they're going to put in new justices. They're going to get rid of Clarence. They're going to ask Clarence Thomas and Alito to resign so they can put 2 in that are young, like 35 years old. 35 years old. So that way they can have at least 50 years on the bench.
In addition to expanding the court for them.
So we need to expand, restructure the courts. We need to expand it, and it can only happen with an all blue Congress, that means Senate and House of Representatives.
Yeah.
And then also a blue president. We got to have all housing, every area in government should be blue. Anyway, I see Omar's is just having a good time with his coffee there.
Well, I'm in my favorite bagel store. This is the best bagel in Texas because the rest of
New York
Texas,
water.
The rest of Texas is no good.
Well, I heard that there's some places in the South. I want to say it's in Texas. There's a bagel place in Texas, somewhere in Texas. I don't know where. Maybe it's Houston, where they actually ship water from New York because New York has the best bagels in the world.
Yes,
and it's because of our water.
That's true. But my friend here, she was trained in New York City.
Oh, really?
She was baptized. Okay.
It's that bad. They do everything by hand over here. They make it fresh every day.
Where is that? Where is that, Omar?
This is in the Colony. It's called Bagel Fresh Deli. And what's the address?
I got to make a drive. I'll drive to something good.
3751 Main Street. I'm here almost every day. And even though my brother over here is a Trump supporter. From California.
A Trump supporter from California. That's oxymoron. Anyway, we're gonna close out. We're gonna close out. I want Brian, where can people find you this evening, and when can people find you in general online? Quickly.
Online, Brian Young Creative. Here, I was trying to figure out how to get the Clubhouse link to put in the chat somewhere. Tonight on Clubhouse and every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, myself and two other fellow black men, we host political spin. And what we do for an hour, we have a hard 90 minutes. What we do for an hour and a half is go do a deep dive, since I'm the one out of three of us who've read Project 2025 front to back. One consistency every week, we pick one of the sections, dig deep into it, and make it plain how to make people understand. Okay, if you can't understand all this highfalutin stuff, here's how it relates to you at the ground level. And then that's getting people like, oh God. And then there's a historical element that we like toss in. It's open forum. People are everyone is engaged, questions like, what do you mean? Last week we did, the room was pretty much a historical deep dive on the parallel of what's happening now, and like how Germany went from democracy into a dictatorship, and some of those plays are being enacted right now. Tonight we keep switching up. We've had three meetings about tonight. We originally were going to focus on SCOTUS, deep dive into JD Vance, but with the changes in what the president's address tonight, we're going to switch that up. But every week, one constant every week, we're picking a piece of Project 2025, and I put on my instructor hat, and I share, and then we have a Q&A. And then every week. Yep. So
cool.
I'll give you the
give me the information, and then I'll put it into the our Touch Base Daily feed in Instagram, and also on here on YouTube. Gwendolyn, where can people find you?
YouTube is GR Houston Jackin. I'll say Instagram, Black Power Bunny, although I'm there, but not really there. Let me just say that, because YouTube is my soapbox, and I'm going to do some soapbox moments the way that I normally do. I specifically focus on women's rights because, self-preservation. And then also, I know, right? And then also children, right? And the fact that we are rolling back a lot of these child labor laws, and we figured, since we can't exploit adults, let's exploit the kids, because that's easy. That's where a lot of my time lies.
Wow. And what we talk about tomorrow, Gwendolyn?
We are going to talk about the kids. So we're looking at education in terms of Project 2025 and what's happening right now, because a lot of states, and I'm looking at Texas specifically, they are closing schools because there's just no money for schools, but they're promoting charter and private schools. So we are looking at that. And then we'll also touch on, again, those child labor laws, because, you know, they just feel like, well, kids want to work. Kids don't mind working.
They want to work in the mines.
Pay them like pennies. Yeah. Ain't nobody crazy. It's called exploitation. Call it what it is. So,
Omar, where can people find you, sir?
You know, I've been really active on my Facebook page. So if you want to send me a friend request at Omar Ramos on Facebook, that's where my thoughts go through, and that's where I get the most trouble. So I would love some of my RLP homies to back me up in some of these conversations, because like, again, it's exhausting to try to, debunk a lot of these crazy statements and so on. And not that I care. I think everyone should have, what they believe is what they believe. My job is not to make you not believe. I think our job is to make sure that truth is truth, lies are lies.
There you go. Educate the public. Educate our friends.
The public needs to, be informed. And if you're willing to learn or do your homework, if you're going to do your homework, then we can have a conversation.
Yes.
If you're not going to do your homework, move on.
Be careful out there, Omar. And this is something I've been, in the past week or so, I've kind of turned it up a notch for all of us. It has been proven. Our national security apparatus has shown that the interference, the misinformation, disinformation from Russia in our 2016 election, our 2020 election, through bots and some of the trolls and bots. So this has been happening. So I encourage people, but I know our knee-jerk reaction may be to, this is wrong. Hit pause. Click on that person that you think is a person. I did this the other day in one of the clubhouse rooms where I saw it was a pro Kamala room. Somebody made a Trump 24, and I clicked on it, and I was like, wait a minute. They've got like 2 friends. The photo looks like it's a stock photo. I clicked on the so-called IG link.
Oh, yeah.
The IG page was like just 4 pictures that were all from 2 days. So let's be mindful, because if we engage with those, I'm not a tech person, but I know enough that if you engage with those,
the clickbaits.
Yeah, it creates the algorithm will only send you more, and then it's like it's a downward spiral. So let's
let it go. As they say in Walt Disney, let it go. Just you see flow past your screen, don't click on it, just let it go.
Yeah, I get a lot of those comments from like India and Pakistan and so on, and I'm like, I don't even at least proceed from that.
Report and block.
Yeah, I only comment for those people that I actually know.
Tom says that's something else Project 2025 is about. Reduce protections against misinformation and disinformation. Okay, guys, we're going to get off of here. Let you guys get back to work, get back to your day. We'll be back here tomorrow, as we always do, at 10 o'clock. And tomorrow, we're going to have a great subject. We're going to be talking about child labor and also its relation to Project 2025 and how children will be exploited under Project 2025. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. So we'll have our panel discussion again, and we'll be here. And we're going to do our homework tonight. Well, we've already been doing our homework, but now we're going to really dive in for tomorrow. And so thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Brian. Thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you, Omar, for joining. And Elise. And our wonderful Elise. You had to leave. And thank you guys for being a part of this conversation. And also make sure that you like this. We are now at 300 subscribers. So make sure that you tell people about us. And hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share. Here's your homework. Share with 10 people. share with 10 people. There's 19 people that's still here in the building. If you share with 10 people, that's 190 people. So let's do that, y'all. Okay, so just share it. Like, subscribe, and share. And then also make sure after this is over, you go back to the feed and put in the comments if you enjoyed this conversation and if it enlightened you, because the comments after is also what helps the algorithms. So make sure you do the comments and put your comments in the boxes. Okay, guys, we are out of here. I will see you tomorrow. And we love you. What's our saying? Day. Live life like you mean it and focus on the things that matter. Okay, I'm out. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.